Hello everyone. Today we're going to do the ducky zebra project. For this project, you're going to learn how to use the magnetic lasso tool. You're going to learn how to use the clone stamp tool and how to inverse a selection. But first, I need you to download these two files, the ducky file and the zebra file. Put them somewhere that you can find them so that we can place them into our Photoshop work. Let's get started. Okay, you have your images downloaded, you have Photoshop up. Let's get started. Click on File, click Open. Let's go find your zebra image and double click on it. Now let's go find your ducky image and place it. So File, Place Embedded. Find your ducky image, double click. Now the ducky's still selected, so we want to press Enter to get rid of the handlebars. Now what we want to do is we want to cut out the ducky head and make it look like it's part of the zebra. Now, first, before we can do anything, we have to come over to our layers, and if you see this little icon, it means it's a smart object. We want it to be a rasterized image. So let's right click on it, click rasterize layer, and now the little icon goes away. If you don't have that icon, you don't have to worry about it. Your image is already a raster image. Let's get rid of this padlock, so double click, click OK, and now we're ready to go. So now we can cut out our ducky head. The tool we're going to use for that is called the magnetic lasso tool. So let's come over here and find it right there. Now the way it works is it finds the edge between two colors and it makes a selection. Now we have the yellow on this ducky and we have the white background, so it's going to find that edge and it's going to select it. So what I do, or what you're going to do, is click and hold down the left mouse button, drag it around, and it automatically finds that edge. Now this can be kind of frustrating if it won't work exactly right for you. So you might have to play with it to get it just right. I'm going to go all the way around the neck, by the beak, and all the way around. And when we get to the very end, you're going to let go and it should automatically snap and make that selection. Now if you're having trouble with this, come up here to the top and look at my settings and copy them, and that should fix any problem you're having. Okay? So now we want to keep our ducky head, but if we press the delete key, it's going to delete the ducky head, and that's not what we want. We want to keep the ducky head and delete everything else. So we have to invert our selection. That's easy. Let's go up to the top, click select, click inverse. It doesn't look like much has happened, but a lot has happened. The head of ducky is no longer selected. Everything else outside of the ducky head is now selected. So now we can click delete on the keyboard. Oh, we made a mistake. A rookie mistake. We accidentally clicked delete and we were on the background layer. Let's click Control Z and let's fix this. Instead of being on the background layer, we want to be on the ducky layer because that's what we want to delete. So now press delete on the keyboard. You always have to be careful of what layer you're working on. Now we're finished with ducky head, so let's click Control D to deselect. Let's go grab our move tool, our arrow tool, and move the head down a little bit so that the head's right below the ears. Now we still need to make the head bigger so it goes further down. So let's click Control T. That transforms an object. T for transform, so Control T. Now we have our handlebars. Hold down the Shift key, grab a handlebar, and drag it down. Let's kind of move it back over. And what we want is our ducky head to be large enough that it goes almost to this part of the nostril of the zebra. And this is pretty good. So let's click enter. Now what we want to do is get rid of the nose of the zebra. Now the way we do that is we use the clone stamp tool, and it's pretty cool. Let's first click on the zebra layer. Actually, let's get rid of the ducky so that we can see behind it. So let's click on the eyeball, come over to your clone stamp tool, and let's go up and set our selections. So click your down arrow, make sure the size is around 70, the hardness around 15. Change the opacity to 75, around there. Now the opacity is what makes it see-through. And because it's going to be a little bit see-through, it's going to make it look a little bit more realistic. If we don't do it, it's going to be really harsh, and the grass isn't going to look like it's going to be copied over when we use it. Now, the way the clone stamp tool works is it takes a copy of your image and allows you to brush it somewhere else. So it's pretty cool. Now, the way we take a copy sample is hold down the Alt key on your keyboard. Notice it changes into a target. That means it's going to take a sample of wherever we click. So I'm going to go ahead and click right here to get a sample, and then come over here to the nose. Now, notice you get a preview to what it's going to look like. So I'm going to go ahead and click and kind of work my way down this way. Now what makes a clone stamp tool look really good is if you take the patterns within the image and kind of follow those patterns to kind of trick the eye. So I'm going to make another sample over here, and I'm going to go this way. I'm going to make a sample right here and come over, make another sample, Okay. Don't forget this little whisker right here. Let's get it out of the way. Okay, so now we have that done. We can click the eyeball next to Ducky, and there we go. Now, it looks kind of harsh, the edge of Ducky right here. We want to soften it up. That's pretty easy to do. We're going to use that same tool we used already called the mask. Click on Ducky, click on the mask. Now remember, if we click on the mask right here, wherever we paint with a paintbrush and it's black, it's going to remove the image. If we paint it white, it returns the image. So let's go over to our paintbrush. Let's make it black. We're going to go up here to our selection, our fur brush, make it soft, around 13. The size is around 75. And what I'm going to do is just come around it and just click and kind of soften the edges. Maybe right here by the cheek. I'm not trying to do too much, just enough. Zoom out a little bit. Okay, so that's it. We're done with Ducky Zebra. Now what I want you to do is save it using the snipping tool. So go down to the window icon down at the bottom, type in snipping, and we should get our snipping tool. I want you to select everything from the top left all the way across, and I want you to show me your layers as well. So now we have our image saved that we want to upload for a grade. So click on the save icon here, save it, upload it using the OneDrive, and then submit your link on its learning. That's it. Hope you enjoyed.